express yourself. Let me be me. All right. I know I messed up the words on that song, but it was a good song anyway. And that is, of course, Salt and Pepper. You know, but it's something about that song, the way that we express ourselves. Can we be sincere in expressing ourselves? I wanted to climb a tree earlier today, but I knew security would have been all on me trying to climb this tree. But I didn't want to climb the tree. My tomboy comes out every now and then. I can't help it. And those same security officers, I know that they are definitely the same ones who had been telling me about putting the banana in the soil. They don't get it. They don't understand why it is that I don't want to just throw the banana peel out in the garbage like everyone else. I cannot be like anyone else. I can only be me, and I want to be free. So this is me being free. Before everything started, before I was, decided to move on and go on about my business and leave certain relatives behind, I don't know. There's a certain level of freedom that everyone has, Sometimes you don't feel as free, and you feel like you have to be the type of person who does everything that societal laws preach. Now, I do consider myself, pretty honest person. Every now and then certain things come up and you say, oh, shoot, did I do this? And, you have to look at you and evaluate your own position and what you did wrong or what have you. Like talking to the gentleman about the ticket guy about putting a ticket on the vehicle, and you're saying, why would you do that? Because you still have a few minutes left or what have you. We all are individuals living our lives on life's platform. And there's certain experiences that we're just going to have. All of these experiences, of course, we're supposed to be learning from our mistakes. Recently I had a person in my life, and I asked God, I prayed, I said, God, should this person be in my life? And God showed me that this person should not be in my life. And they showed a certain attitude, and I thought that was so great. I was thankful to God for showing me I didn't have to invest any more time in this area, and we can both go our separate ways. Now, that's just a regular friendship. Imagine in relationships. In relationships, it's kind of hard sometimes. You don't want to let go. You don't want to, because you feel like this person, you are connecting with them. But we're all supposed to be growing. And while growing, we're learning from each other. And, something that, a lot of these lessons that we learn, sometimes we could be hard-headed about some of these lessons that we're learning, because we don't want things to go in the way that they're going. But God is trying to free us up from different negative consciousness, I'll say. We want to grow, and while growing, these experiences have to be had. I think that we don't always go out in nature, but when it rains, that's when we want to go out. That's when you think about all the things that you probably could have done outdoors, and now it's raining, so you don't want to go out. I didn't like rain when I was in New York, because to me, I felt like it used to pinch my skin. But rain here is lighter on your skin. I don't really have a problem with the rain here. You pray for rain in Arizona. It all depends on you, because no matter where you go, there you are. So if you can become more comfortable with you, then everyone else can become more comfortable with you too. Or not, because you won't care about so much what everybody else thinks when you are really loving yourself and enjoying the journey. I like the flexibility that I have, even though, I didn't realize that God was going to do it the way that he did, but, again, I don't know everything. God does. So, you have to have faith and put things in God's, well, no, it's already in God's hands, but you have to, I'll say, trust. And sometimes it's hard to trust, because you're saying, man, I could have done this, I could have had that, Well, my mother first came to me years ago in a dream, and she said, "You're not going to owe anybody anything. You're not going to have to share anything. It's all up to you." And I couldn't understand what this dream was really breaking down, what she was really talking about. And then she elaborated. Certain things, you get little pieces. That's why you have to write your dreams down sometimes, because you're not going to be able to make the necessary connections, because that dream said one thing. This dream is a piece to that, it's a component. But you don't recall because you did not write it down. So that's why it's important to keep a dream book. But I'm rambling around because it's just so many different things. I mean, today has just been one of those days where I was able to accomplish the things that I set out in doing. You know, still have to get that laundry done, but that's a whole nother day, right? God is trying to talk to us, and sometimes when he's trying to explain or talk to us about different things, we don't get it. So sometimes the dream state is the best time. I mean, I had so many dreams last night that I was just, oh my goodness, like, what the heck? I felt like I didn't even get my sleep, you know? But again, even when those things happen, there is a reason behind, you know, God, why God does the things that he does, you know? I feel like you're blessed with the people who you grow up with, because if they do nothing else, they teach you. They teach you about yourself, and they teach you about themselves. And when people are young, they show you who they are in different ways. You know, it's like a child playing around in on a playground, and the child really wants to be more so around girls than boys. When it's a girl, it's acceptable, so you say, "Oh, she's just girly." But sometimes that's telling you that that person might be choosing that individual or that group of people to be in relationships with later. You know, this is why we can't be hard on children, because they are just being themselves, and they're showing you who they truly are. You know, there's growth in that, and allowing children to be who they are. You know, just this is another reason why different learning techniques work best on, you know, with children. There was I'm trying to remember this young lady's name that I used to, when I was at Satsang, there was a girl who used to attend, and she was working with a group of students, and she was working with them with music. And before she took that job, she didn't seem as happy, to be quite honest. Once she took that job and she was working with children with music, it was like it lit something up in her as well as the children. And that goes to show, when you're learning something and you teach it later on, you keep it more so. But the thing that I like, I think her name was Tara. Yeah. What I liked about her is that she's a free spirit, always willing and ready to express and help others, both she and her twin. I looked at them, you know, just like I looked at another young lady who we went to satsang with, as more like sisters, because they would share different parts of themselves that was so genuine, you know, a certain genuineness. And it's important that when you are reaching, or when you're meeting people and you're seeing, you know, you're developing a relationship and friendship, that they be their authentic self, you know, just like you want to be your authentic self. People are going to express themselves, and it's important that they're in an area where they feel comfortable. That's why you have to be careful in who you're hanging out with. I say it consistently, and I'm learning it myself. A person who's doing a whole bunch of cursing and carrying on, I really don't prefer being in that type of space. But I do enjoy being around people who are expressing themselves in a more eloquent way. You know, you don't have to have every other word a curse word, which really to me means that they have maybe their vocabulary is not as enhanced as others are. And that's nothing, you know, to judge a person on, you know. I personally would rather be in a different element or different, you know, form of company. because I feel like when you're around other people, you want to learn from them. And what's wrong about learning about a person's vocabulary or learning from them? You know, I mean, I could spend all day in the library, and I certainly can look through an encyclopedia or even a dictionary. But it's also good to learn from other people. That's another reason why God has us here, to interact with other people and to learn from each other. You know, it's I remember being in a group of students. We were in a circle, and you had to pick up a picture and Pictionary, I guess. You pick up the picture, you show the child, and you ask the child to act it out. And it was just, children are so natural with it, so organic with it. They love what they're doing, and they just love to have fun. And I think when you're around them, this is another reason why I think my mother enjoyed her childhood a little bit better hanging around us, because she would put on the roller skates, get on the bike, run around just like us. And we loved that. We loved her being able to be her authentic self. We loved being able to share that. Children need that type of environment, a safe environment, an available ear, and an available environment where they can actually be free, and not feel restricted. Okay, they do have their bedtime. Okay, they do have a schedule to keep. But when you allow things to flow differently, I'm able to observe things on a whole different level right now, and I'm thankful to God for that. Now, I'm going to be honest again. I did not understand why certain things carried out the way they did, and I'm still not totally understanding things now, but I'm enjoying the journey. We are all on a journey. Your journey might be that you have to work at this specific place, and when you're done with that, or when you're finished with that experience, God moves you to another environment. There are a lot of people who are moving out of the country now, moving to different states. They're moving because they have outgrown their environment, and it's time for them to move further. Now, a lot of people live in fear, and they don't think that they can make it there, or they rely heavily on their parents to pay their bills or what have you. Listen, we all have our own different situation going on, and nobody is here to judge. We are all growing, and we're all learning. So at the end of the day, you can't say what you would do if you were in another person's position, because you really don't know what they're going through. And if you did know what they were going through and you were experiencing it, would you handle it the same way? You really don't know. There's a lot of people say, man, if that happened to me, I would do thus and so. But they really don't know what they would do. There's been so many different experiences, with that. Like people say to me, why don't you go back into trucking? No, I don't need to go back into trucking, and I would not go back into trucking because God pulled me from that. And when I see certain things that happen, my old colleague was talking to me about some things that happened just yesterday. And I don't feel like I want to be involved with that type of stress. God puts you in certain positions for a period of time. And when you take too long to walk away from them, it's like a lack of faith. That's how I believe God sees it. Why aren't you relying on me? I mean, to be honest with you, it was a challenge to even be in the position that I'm in now with trusting, because all my life I've had a lack of trust, because so many people have dropped the ball or not been there for me. So it's kind of hard sometimes when you try to believe or trust in a person and they do just what you expected them to do in the first place. Or maybe you didn't expect it. Maybe you held on so tight to the faith in this person, and they cannot follow through because they are a person. They are human beings. They're going to make mistakes. Whereas God, you could have that faith, and you can know for sure that He's going to be there for you. Not everyone can say that, Even on this platform, I'll have someone from YouTube messing with my content. The color, it will be so rich right here and now. And even when I put it out there, it's always been very rich. That's how I know when someone's tampering with it. But at the same time, I can have faith because I know God's going to take care of that situation as well. I know that we all have our own different moods. And let me tell you, Sometimes I feel like, oh my goodness, I need to work on this, or I need to work on that. But when you're going through so many things at once and you feel challenged, you say, man, like the cyberbullying, I know who it is, and I realize that one of the reasons why she's doing it is because she wants attention. And that's what she does, and that's what people do. When they want attention, they go at it. And it's just amazing to me that there's a couple that wants attention. And they're not looking for attention from each other. They're looking for attention from everybody outside of them. And that just tells you that they don't have that self-love. And I'm not poking fun or anything. I'm just saying that when you're working on yourself, you discover self-love on a different level. You don't have to worry about always trying to get attention from everyone else. You get your attention from yourself. You say, okay, I want to paint. I want a horseback ride. I want to do this. Whatever it is you want to do, you can even manifest it. I'm going to tell you, I cannot even believe how this happened the other day, and I'm going to share this with you. I had gone somewhere, and I really wanted this perfume. I wanted this perfume badly. But I was like, Dad, I don't have the money. And I was trying to figure out how I could even just get a sample, because I said, if I can get a sample, I think I can manifest it even, more so. So I went to the store, and there was a little bit of people, so I left and came back. When I came back, there was a young lady there. And I told her, I said, look, Mother's Day is coming up. This is before Mother's Day, actually. And I wanted to get a sample because maybe I could, see what it's like now, or and see if I like it and then come back. And she looked at me and she just smiled and she said, and she went and gave me the perfume. And I was just like so surprised, like that she would even, it wasn't the actual, it was a sample of the perfume, but it was like in a trinket, so it was a few samples. And I was so happy and so thankful to her for doing that. People do things, first of all, people are not predictable, not a lot of them anyway. And she did that out of kindness of her heart, because she could have just taken one out and gave it to me. But she gave me the packet with the samples in it, and I thought that was just the sweetest thing. And later on, I was like, you manifested that, because you were so stern in this, and you really wanted it. Now, my favorite perfume, I do actually have it, but I didn't even think about it at the time, because I had tried that perfume that was at the store, and I just really wanted it. It's like an international fragrance, and I haven't been out of the country, this year, so I'm like, man, I really want that perfume, and it's the closest to the one that I found when I was in Paris, so I really wanted it. So lo and behold, she gave that to me, and oh my goodness, I said thank you to her. She must have been like, okay, I said enough thank yous, but I was just I was impressed, because I said, man, when I do get the money, I'm going to buy that perfume, and I want to buy it from her, because I know she's going to receive commission. This is what I'm talking about. We can manifest things in the same way that people strategize to hurt other people. They could use that same energy in reverse to get what it is that they want. I'm going to tell you, I was thinking of all these different ways that I could possibly get this perfume. And I was just like, man, what am I going to say? And when I got up there, I said, tell the girl the truth, And it all worked out in the end. We sometimes don't have faith that things can work out in the end. When you think about something, when you want to manifest something, you think about it wholeheartedly. You think about how you're going to feel when you receive it. You're thinking about, if this was a fragrance, so you're thinking about the wonderful fragrance in your surroundings. I'm going to be honest with you. There's been certain areas that I've walked in the neighborhood, and there's this fragrance. It's like a lilac fragrance, and it's so beautiful. And I just think that if you really want something and you really want to manifest something, think wholeheartedly about it and have a great fragrance that you're inhaling while you're doing it. And close your eyes, see yourself there having that experience, and let it go. And then God will allow you to have it. So I've rambled around enough. Thank you guys, and thank you so much for joining us here at Indigo Moon. You guys are fabulous. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everyone who comes here. And thank you for your new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great day.